Alright, hello everybody. I'm Paul Roustan. I'm a body painter. I paint on people and then I photograph them. And I've been working in the metaverse since 2021 and Web3 and NFTs obviously too. And today I'm going to show you how to turn your beast into a Vtuber streamer beast using the new AR assets that we all were just dropped about 3 weeks ago. So first off, I want to mention I'm running on a Mac, and Macs generally have a harder time with programs for streaming VTubers. It's more of a PC thing, but I actually managed to find a decent one called Webcam Motion Capture, and that's what I'm using right now. And the thing about Webcam Motion Capture, though, it has a subscription to use. You can use it for free, but it kind of has these too many watermarks that make it somewhat unusable, but it's like $2 a month if you needed to use it, and it's pretty decent. But if you're on a PC, you have like a whole assortment of options. I believe there's free options out there that you can play with to do even more things than I'm capable of with what I have. But I wanted to demonstrate what I'm capable with a Mac. As you can see, my beast, the eyes are blinking, my mouth is moving, my hands react to the movement of my hands. I put my hands in the air and I move my fingers, and that's what we're gonna make today. So with that said, let me switch over. Okay, you guys see this? This is VRM add-on for Blender. I put these links in the chat. I'm sure they'll be included with the recording in the future too. You'll need this plugin for Blender in order to export the asset to use for streaming. This is Webcam Motion Capture. I like how it works. If you're on a Mac especially, it also works on PC, but I believe there are better options on PC. So this is my collection of beasts. I'm gonna use this one today. You go into the hub at kidcallbeast.com and you're gonna wanna download your T-pose and the AR head. The AR head is the new head that we got with the filters and everything. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is open up the blend file, the T-pose blend file that I just downloaded. I'm going to change the viewport to shading, which is the third one over here. That way I could see all the textures, just a preference that I like myself. I'm going to delete the balloon or any props that I don't want. The head I'm not going to worry about yet, but I'm going to delete that, pressing X, selecting it and pressing X in object mode. And now I'm going to import the GLB AR head that I downloaded. And you'll see it's down here, it's really tiny. So I have to reposition this. And before I mess too much with that, I want all of these right here on the bottom. So I know that this is part of the glasses, and I don't want those. So I'm going to delete those, get them out of the way now before I have to worry about it. And everything else I need. I'm going to close these up just so this is simpler to see. Now head props. And I'm gonna delete pretty much the whole head here. But I'm going to select all these meshes. I'm going to click on this transform tool. I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to start to rotate this a little bit, not the whole way, but then I'm going to come in this little drop down and type in 180 degrees, and that'll turn it over perfectly facing the opposite direction. I unselected accidentally, but so I'll select these meshes again, and I'm just going to move this up into the headspace. Try to position it as best as I can. I'm going to press S to scale, and I'm just going to drag my mouse until it seems similar in size. Move it down a little bit. Scale it up a touch maybe. And this doesn't have to be exact. Maybe a little bit smaller. It's fine if it's bigger or smaller. This is just a matter of like being a perfectionist really. And since this is now in the place that I want it to be, I'm going to just hide all of those meshes, and I'm going to start removing these bad boys. I select glasses, delete lenses, delete the side of the glasses, delete this little floating empty here. I think that was part of the glasses. Delete that. Whatever props you want to remove them now. This part of the head, though, I need the neck. So I'm going to hit tab, and I'm going to change to face mode. I'm going to go over the head, not the neck, and I'm going to press L, and that selects only the head shape. So I'm going to press X now and delete faces. L, L, and this is additive. So if you hit L on one and you hit L again, it keeps both. So both are selected. I'm going to hit X to delete faces. That gets rid of the ears. Now I can go back to object mode and continue to delete the face. Everything here is gone. This is the old head, not the new head. And then we keep the neck. And so now at this point, I can make this all visible again. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click on this balaclava, drag it over a bit. I want to look at the material. This is O-Lines charcoal. If I open up the base color, I can see the image texture is lines charcoal base color. So I want to turn the neck to the same texture. So I'm going to switch this to O-Lines charcoal, and that is correct. Now the same here with the eyes. This skin tone here is a different texture than the eyelids. The eyelids are actually an image texture. And so you have two options here. You can either make the eyelids the same color as the skin texture if you have the tattoos on it, or if you want to keep the tattoo, you got to make the skin texture match the eyelids. If you don't have a tattoo, the colors might be correct, but this is one thing you want to check. And this is also where you could shift the values. So if I wanted to change the skin tone, you would go in here in the base color to shift the values. But for my needs, I'm going to switch this to the image texture of the eyelids so they match perfectly. So I'm going to select the eyelid. I say it's skin tattoo thug tan, and it's no neck tattoo thug tan 4K. All right, so I got to remember that, and I'm going to switch this to skin tattoo thug no neck tattoo, and now they match, same materials and everything, which is great. Okay, and just before I join those two pieces, I want to show you what these look like in edit mode. You see the balaclava goes right up to the edge. That's the T-pose file. But here, the neck doesn't go to the edge of the mesh. So in order to fix that, this may or may not cause problems in the future. So in order to fix that, we're going to go to object mode. And I'm just going to select the neck, and you'll see here under the modifiers, under the wrench and modifiers, there is a modifier that needs to just be applied. So if I click apply, now in edit mode, it goes up to the edge. And at this point, I can join the two. These modifiers are on every single part of the rest of the body. So I have to apply to each of them. And let's do that in super fast mode. All right, so there it seems like I got all of them, and I'm gonna take the balaclava and I'm gonna hold shift and click on the neck, and I'm just gonna join these. So Command J to join. Oh, and so we'll see here the textures shifted. When this happens, this used to bother me so much I could never figure out why it does this, but I know how it does it. So in order to fix this, let me undo that. I'm gonna click on the balaclava. I'm going to go to the bones, and under the bones, this green triangle, you want to click on UV maps, and you see this one is called UV map. If I click on the neck, it's called UVW. So the trick is to make them have the same name. So I'm going to change this to UV map as it's written on the other one. And now I can take the balaclava and the neck, hit Command J, but the textures will stay there now, and it's no longer an issue. You'll find this same problem happens throughout the body, so you might have to correct some of those UV maps. I'm going to create the armature now. So we're going to go to Add Armature VRM Humanoid. Boom. And I'm going to go up to go to this second one. It looks like a little running person. Viewport display in front. We want to see the bones in front. I'm going to scale it up so the shoulders are kind of lined up properly. And that looks pretty good. Let's bring it back a little bit. Okay, cool. And we're going to start editing the bones to fit the body perfectly. So I'm going to click edit mode, and I'm going to raise this up using the transform button. Raise that up a bit and raise this up a bit to get that neck correct, and the head is fine as is. This looks pretty good. The shoulder needs to come out to where the shoulder is. I'm just going to bring this elbow in a little bit too as well. Make these sort of similar. And then this point, I'm just going to give this arm a slight bend in the correct direction. Just like 2 little pixels basically. By doing this, I'm actually telling the bone that this is the way the arm is supposed to bend. If you don't do that, you could randomly get some funky backwards arm things happening. Alright, and then so down here, we only have 4 fingers. I'm going to delete these pinky bones, and I'm going to do this. Let's do the same before I forget on the other side. Pinky bones. And now I'm going to scale up. Bigger. It's not too big. I want to line up the knuckles properly, and then also position them right in the center of the fingers. This will help with the automatic weight painting. You want to double check that they're all kind of in the right spot. And so the thumb, I'm going to do the same thing, position it correctly into the thumb. A little bit of rotating to do too. Can also scale it a bit. It's kind of small. Check it from every angle. Make sure it's nicely centered in there. Let's get it a little closer to the tip. I think that looks pretty good. One other thing in the hand here, I'm going to position the wrist right on the center of the wrist. I'm going to make sure this is close to the center. That will help with the weighting a little bit on the bending of the wrist. And let's just make this bone bigger for the hand. That should be pretty good. I tried using Mixamo to rig. That just kind of messes up the whole finger situation. They bend the wrong direction and stuff. So there are beasts that end up getting the right kind of armature with Mixamo, but every beast is created a little differently. So I highly recommend doing it this way, just manually, so you can get exactly what you need. I'm gonna click on all 3 knuckles, and I'm just gonna, again, like I did with the elbow, just raise it up a touch to suggest which way it bends. And then the same with the thumb, just a little touch. Now that that's done, I have one side and the other side needs to be done. Instead of doing that manually, I'm going to click on all these bones. I'm going to go to Armature, Symmetrize, boom. And so that does everything that I did on that hand to the flip side. that's that. So now let's do the legs. There we go. This one, foot, toe base. Check everything selected. I'm gonna angle it just a touch to match the angle of the leg, and try to center it. And that looks pretty good. The feet, I can definitely reposition a little bit. I'm just going to make the toe extend to the tip of the foot. And again, I'm going to select all these bones. I'm going to hit symmetrize. Boom. And let's rotate it just a touch back. And I think I'm going to rotate these two because they're kind of like inward. Just want to line it up perfectly. Armature. Now let's make sure I got all of them selected again. The ones that I like, I select, and then I hit armature, symmetrize. All right, so now's the hardest part of them all, is rigging the armature to the beast. This can be temperamental and tricky. You need a lot of patience with this. If you don't have a lot of experience doing it, you could ask somebody who maybe does, or hire someone to rig it for you. Otherwise, you can try all sorts of things. You can use Mixamo to auto rig your beast. There are glitches and technical issues with that sometimes, and the hands oftentimes don't work correctly. It varies from beast to beast, so in my opinion, the best way to do this is to manually rig it. It's good to learn how to rig it anyways, then you become more of an expert. And so I'm going to try to get you through this part here as quickly as I can. This is going to take some troubleshooting back and forth as you're testing your beast to make adjustments here and there. But basically at this point, I would select the entire object and armature, and I want to make sure that the bone is yellow. And I'm going to hit Option P, clear and keep transformation. I don't know if that's Alt P or Control P on a PC, but on a Mac it's Option P to clear transformation, and Command P, we're going to go to with automatic weights. That takes a little bit of time to run through it, but it should work. If you have any errors, what I would do, you'll see something down here that might say like bone weighting heat failure or something. On this one, for example, there were threads on these shoes that were not weighting to the bone properly. And so how I pinpointed the threads on the shoes, I tried weighting each part individually. So I would click the soles and then click that and then hit Command P and automatic weights. And I would do it one at a time, each part of the body, one at a time, until I came to the one that was causing the issues. In which case, I personally made the decision to delete the threads so that I didn't have to deal with that. For my needs for this, a VTuber anyways, I'm not gonna be looking at the threads on the shoes anyways. So that's just one little troubleshooting thing you can solve. But at this point, I'm gonna try to join the shoes. And again, here you might run into the instances where the UV maps need to be renamed, like we did on the head. And you can do that easily. I'm gonna select all the shoes and I'm just gonna join them. And so I've already renamed all UV maps to work properly, so I won't be having that issue. I'm going to switch to weight paint mode, and I can see already that the weight painting has been added from my auto weight painting procedure. And if I scroll up, you can see what is on what bone. At this point, you could join everything, so you'll be able to look at it all at once, and I think I'm going to do that because it just makes my life that much easier. So I'm going to switch to object mode. So I made the feet all one thing. I like to double check by just dragging to make sure I didn't miss anything, and it looks pretty good there. I'm going to click the legs and hit join. Now that's all in the same mesh. I'm going to hit the skirt, join, the underwear, join. I know all these parts are separate here. maybe not, maybe they're already, okay, that needs to be joined there. The belt looks good. The shirt I need to join. And the hands join. And so at this point I should be able to drag everything over and see that it's all on one piece, which is great. Because now on the right here, I renamed this to outfit. It was probably shoes before I joined it, and I renamed that to outfit so it's easy to find. And now I can control every little aspect for my needs. I'm not joining these because each one has its own set of shape keys that control movement. So if I look at jaw forward, for example, you'll see is when I change this value, the jaw moves position. So each of these has kind of like their own setup. And so if I join it, it screws that up. And so I don't want to join that. We need this for what we're trying to do. But now I can select the body, go into weight paint mode, and I could scroll through all the bones just by pressing the arrow up key. I can scroll through all the bones and see how it applied the weight painting. And what I see overall, it's done a pretty good job. But like you can see here, if I select lower arm, which is all right here, which is good, the belt has been given a little bit of weight. It's a little bit lighter blue. And when it's solid darker blue, that means there's no weight applied to that bone. When it's red, that means maximum weight has been applied to that bone. So I need to go in here and correct things to make sure they work properly. And since I'm here, I'm going to just fix this one up right now, and I don't need to see the bones right now, so I'm actually going to let's go here. Let's click on the bones, go back to object mode. I'm going to click on the bone and I'm going to change it. I'm going to untoggle the in front so that they're still there, but they won't be in my way. And then I'll click back on the body, go to weight paint mode, and I'm going to just start cleaning this up. And so in here, the weight of draw 1 makes things red, and I don't want that there. 0 removes. So this will remove that weighting that was automatically added that I don't want. And so there's this part you need to correct everything so that it's accurate. And so I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna look at the toes, and I'm going to. That doesn't look too bad to me, and since the feet don't matter that much to me right now, I'm not going to sweat the feet too much, because I'm going to only really have the upper body showing in this streaming. But if you want to do it right, you need to make sure this weight painting is right. So the toes should have a lot of the weight. There shouldn't be any on the shoelaces, really. That's part of the foot. Look at the bottom. That looks pretty good. And you need to make sure. Let's try just turning the weight up a little bit here. And then, you can fill in a little bit there where it was kind of a hard edge. You could also alternatively have this to the max and have the strength way down. I like to do it like 0.2-ish, and you can sort of build on it with every click. That's one way to do. I also tend to go pretty red on the actual part of the bone that I really want it to acknowledge. So those are the toes. So in my opinion, the toes should be pretty red. But that's sort of like weight painting 101. We're gonna go in here and we're just gonna look. What I really want to make sure is that, so like in this case, the foot here, I'm just gonna turn this up so I can do it quickly. The foot I know is like all red. This should all be dark. That's the foot, And as you're painting here, you got to be really careful not to hit the other side like I just did right here on the sole of the shoe. You have to not get any weight painting on the wrong foot. So this takes a lot of time. This is very tedious. Some people are masters at this. I'm okay at weight painting. I'm definitely not a master. I know how to fix things, but it definitely can take some time. And when things are off, it's going to act funky. So let's just go up here. There are also apps that will let you copy over weight painting from one armature side to the other. But let's go through here quickly. And I just want to make sure that things are in pretty good spots. Like this is the upper left right leg, and so we have a lot of stuff here on the left side that shouldn't be here. So I'm just going to clear that out. In fact, I kind of don't want anything on the waist at all. And it's going to repeat the opposite side. So some of the things that I fixed already, I'll probably need to repeat on the opposite side. Or I can use the add-on extension. There's one called Easy Weight that will help you copy one side to another. There are little tricks of the trade like that out there. Again, I don't want this on the waist. And I can tell this belt is going to be kind of a problem. There's like weighting underneath this part of the belt, and on this belt, that's kind of a pain in the neck. And one way to fix these troublesome areas is to go into edit mode, and we'll select the stomach, and let's just hide that. Hit H. Let's select. I'm selecting with L to select that, and then hit H to hide that, and then the legs I'll select L too. I'll hide that, and then if I go back to weight paint mode, I can see a bit more that I couldn't see before, and I can start to erase that as well. I'm going to go nice and large so I can really get rid of the things that I don't want to have weight painting on it. And there's a lot hidden here, so there might even be some. Let's go back to edit mode, and I'm going to hide this and just get a clean view of the belt. Make sure I'm not missing anything. There's some under here. And so this part can be very, very tedious. Unfortunately, you have to take care of this stuff. If you don't, you're going to have issues. You're going to have some serious issues when it plays back, and I'll show you that, because guaranteed my first attempt testing this out is going to look strange. So I just removed it from the belt really quickly. I'd spend a lot more time if this wasn't a tutorial. I go back to edit mode. I'm going to hit Option H or Alt H, whatever it is on PC. And I'm going to go back to weight paint mode, and I'm going to continue looking through these steps. Now here we're on the fingers. These look very good. Obviously the placement of the bones worked really well. This is the thumb. I don't want the thumb to control this part of the glove, so I'll probably erase that. And again, being really careful not to affect areas that I want weight painting. I just want it to affect the thumb. That's it. And this is such a light blue, but it actually affects it pretty significantly, especially since it's on the hands, which have a lot of movement. So that is how I would fix that wrist. The hand looks very good. I could give more weight to the wrist. I could make the hand more red, even, so it really is attached to that bone. Just really have full control of that. And again, I'm rushing through this, so it's going to be a little sloppy. You got to check all sides. So that's pretty good. Arm, oh, here we go again. Lower right arm, for whatever reason, has the belt attached. And I bet you anything. Let's do it right now. Again, all beasts are different, so like obviously your beast might not even have this belt, or it might have something that this one doesn't have. But so what I'm going to do here now is let's just double check. I'm going to hide all that stuff, and I'm going to go into weight paint mode and look close, and we see all this weight painting hitting the belt that needs to be removed, which is annoying, but that's life. Because if you don't fix that, it's gonna look funky, which it will, and I'll show you. But this is a fast man's weight painting setup. And so we're on lower arm still here. Let me unhide everything. Edit mode, option H. Go back to weight paint mode. And we had this is all green, which is not bad. We may or may not want to remove that since we already made it all red for the hand. But we'll take a look and see if it needs to be adjusted once we test it out. Again, here we have more on the belt. More on the belt. And I think what I'm going to do at the very end is hide the body and go through manually and make sure that belt is okay. And so it repeats on this side. I'm just going to do this fast. I'm going to leave this hand as is so we can compare the two hands. Let me look at the belt while we're here. There's a little bit right there. That off. I'm going to guess that, oh, look at this. Okay, so we got the chest here, and we have a lot on the belt here. We don't want. And I'll check the inner belt at the very end. Spine. I don't want any of this stuff on the spine. None of it. And the spine I might adjust completely my own way too. Let's take a look. Hips. I'm definitely gonna go heavy on the hips here. I want this belt to be part of the hips. I don't want it to move too much unless it's supposed to. Going really quick here. I think we're gonna have some clipping with some of the stuff that I've added for sure. But we'll see. I'm a little bit high on the stomach, but that's okay for this quick paint job. The root, I'm just gonna clear out everything. I don't want anything on the root. So it's on the feet for some reason because the root bone is near the feet. But we're gonna get rid of that. Look real close. Make sure there's no hint of weight painting on anything there. And okay, so that is the body. That is a quick paint adjustment on the body. The feet need a lot more work. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Object mode, press A to select all, file, export, VRM, name it whatever you want, export it, and let's test it now. I'm going to load my new VRM, and it just popped back in here. All right, cool. So let's check out this height. We have what looks like the underwear. It's a little screwy. When I lift the hands up, fingers bend all right. Something is clearly attached to my eyeball that needs to be adjusted, and parts of the shirt need to be adjusted. And I can see those two floating things under my elbow are my eyelids, the inner eyelids. That needs to be fixed. And see all the stuff around the belt. That's part of the belt that's attached to the wrong bones, and it clearly looks like it's attached to something on my arms. And the shirt needs a lot of work to be matched to the chest. The head doesn't look too bad. The head needs a bit of work, but it doesn't look too bad. Let's do the head. Let's weight paint this bad boy. First I'm going to start with the balaclava. This is the neck. I want this on the neck. So that I want to make that red. This is undoubtedly the neck, and it's going to be the neck. And I don't don't have to be shy about making this red at all. And I'm gonna let it come up just to the head as close as I can. Make this a little bigger, cover more area. One thing I can do also is hide the top of the balaclava to make sure I get in there really good. I'm gonna lower this to 0, all this junk on the teeth that I don't want. I wanna make sure that the head is not attached to the neck, like that at least. And that looks pretty good. When I go to the head, that should all be red, and the neck should all be blue. Should be the opposite. It's okay if I have a little bit there of the green so that it helps blend it together. Okay, that looks good. That's fine. Come back in. And I'm gonna make sure the head is all red. And I'm noticing too that the head is actually not 100% red, which is okay, but if I want it to be perfect, I want it to be solid red. So I'm just going to go there and make sure everything on the head is solid red. Now I want to, let's go into edit mode and hide this. What is that? Okay, object mode, let's go to object mode. Now edit mode. I'm going to hide the top of the head. What is that? That might be part of the old head. I'm not sure. L on the neck. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to go inside this head a little bit. What the hell's going on here? This all red. It's all part of the head. With the neck. That's good. Let's go inside the head. Ah, yes. See, inside the head, I can see part of these teeth didn't get hit. That's going to be a problem. There's a little touch of green right there. I'm trying to get. There we go. Make sure it's all red. Can't have any unhit spots. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna hide the eyes. Skull face. Just to make sure we got everything in there. That looks pretty good. I saw there was like a small spot of like not quite red, but close. Okay, and that looks good. Edit mode. I'm going to hit Option H to unhide everything. Now I'm going to select the head, the balaclava. I'm going to select every part of it, but leave the neck. The inner ear here too. This random thing here. The teeth. Hide that. We got this whole side of the body, which is not. I don't know why that's showing. I feel like that's a glitch, but maybe not. Let's try this. I can't even select it, so I'm not sure what that is, honestly. But I want to edit the neck, so I have to go to this one. Edit mode, weight paint. I'm just gonna ignore whatever that was. I'm not sure what that was. And I'm gonna just fill in this neck a little bit. Just a touch, not all the way to the edge. I might actually even remove the green from the top of it, because this is gonna be sort of part of the head. Yeah, okay, it looks like it already was a little bit, but see, we missed some parts here. And I want to make sure that that's red because I don't want it to clip with the neck. So there's pretty good. Neck, head, neck, head. Overlaps nicely. I'm gonna go back to edit mode. Option H to unhide everything. And the head there is done, but now we have to do the eyes, which I need to bring back. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide the balaclava, and I'm gonna do these parts individually. All this stuff, I know I want it to be on the head bone. So let's select that. Let's go to weight paint. And this needs to be on the head bone. It needs to be all red. And I want to make sure it's that solid red because it wasn't. But also, I'm going to scan through all of the bones. And if I see any colors pop up that shouldn't be there, I need to remove that. And that looked pretty good to me. So I'm going to do the same with the backside. Just make sure. And let's get in close so we can see. Got to make sure you highlight what you're working on. And right now we're looking at the bones. I'm just going to push up on the arrow pad. Going through all the bones. Only thing that's hit is the head. Actually, look at that. See, there's a little bit of blue on the neck. And I don't want that. So I'm going to remove that. And I want to make sure that's not the case. And there's a little bit there on the opposite side too. That will cause problems. So you need to check all these things. That looks pretty good. Skull balaclava's done. Sclera, we're going to do the same thing. You have to go to object mode, select it, and then pop back into weight paint mode. And I want that to be all head, right? So let's max that out. Make sure it's super red. And if this is anything like the other one, let's lower that down. Then we're going to see a little bit of blue on the neck. Very little, if anything. But just in case, I'm going to erase anything there. That looks pretty good. I could also just do one quick run through each bone, which can potentially save me a lot of time later with troubleshooting. And just make sure it's all on the head. We're done with that. Now we're going to look at the pupil. Go to object mode, select the pupil. Let's go to weight paint mode. We're going to scan through all of this, make sure the color doesn't change much. And we got, seems to be all on the head. Again, this is not solid red, so I'm going to make it super duper solid red. Let's do the same thing on the other people. And might as well fast forward from here for the other parts. Object mode, select it. Weight paint. Check all the bones. I feel like I saw something there. Let's make sure. Look at that. That's something. Gotta erase that. That was in the thumb. Pretty good. Eyelid. Now we know the eyelids were messed up from our test. So, weight paint mode. Already, right here on the head, we see the back of the eyelid is not red at all. So that, oops, I had the wrong setting there. Move that up. That needs to be solid red. That will fix part of our issues. Make sure all sides of it are taken care of. And we're going to go to the next eyelid. Object mode, bam, bam, eyelid left. Select that, weight paint. We're going to fill that all in. Fill in all that magic. I'm like overfilling. Make sure I get everything. Object mode, eyelashes left. Oh, also, I forgot. Before I do that, let's. These eye parts you definitely want to check. Check all the bones. Make sure there's no randos affecting it. Okay, there was something there. See that? So the back of this was put on the thumb. If I didn't check that out, we'd still see that there. So, gotta erase that. Can't be on the thumb there. Go weight paint. I don't know why this was automatically added to the thumb when it's nowhere near the thumb bone, but these are things you have to double check. I'm assuming this right lid is probably the same thing. Object mode, select it, Weight paint. Now let's go look for that thumb. Here it is. This is the main reason why we were seeing it appearing when we tested it out. And all we have left are the eyelashes. Look right here, we are on head. That is not red. I want that to be red. So let's drag that up. Make sure every part of it is hit. Those little bits that try to hide from you. You gotta make sure you get it. Let's double check everything. Here, the neck. It's on the neck. We don't want that. Let's erase that. And now the last one, the last eyelash in the whole wide world. Object mode, select it. Let's go to weight paint mode. Bam. Neck. We don't want anything on the neck. And let's quickly check the bones. I didn't see anything obvious pop out. Let's go back to object mode. I'm gonna unhide everything. The head should be pretty good at this point. Now I know that we had some issues with this belt. So I'm gonna really quickly, maybe in super fast mode, go through this. I'm gonna hide that, hide the stomach, hide the shirt. We also know the shirt is a mess. Hide. I'm gonna hide the underwear. Let's hide the legs. And now we're gonna go into weight paint mode, and I'm going to go through this belt. Let's see how all over this belt is. Upper leg. I'm gonna remove all that. I'm gonna make this as big as possible so it selects everything. All that stuff. All this stuff should just be on the waist. Can't have any color on this, on any bone other than the waist. Got some more here. Gotta get it from every angle. Gets more and more complicated when you have intense shapes like this. Hips, all red. Look at that, it's not all red though, so we gotta make that all red. Boom. This is why I hid all the other parts of the body. There were things that we couldn't see because the body was in the way. Make sure that's all red. Otherwise we're gonna have things jutting out that we don't want. Gotta get in there real close. I feel like, yeah, right there on the corners, there's an unpainted area. And you need to be red, buddy. Probably from the bottom too. Go. That looks pretty good. In edit mode, I'm gonna hit Option H, unhide everything. So that should be good. The shirt, I know the shirt needs work. Let's look at the shirt. Let's look at the shirt and see what we got. Let's go to weight paint mode. Spine and chest, and then shoulders are going to be tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this to 0.2. Oh, I should hide the head too. Let's go into object mode. Press H to hide. Let's hide all this. And now we can select the body. Go to weight paint mode. Strengthen and lower to under 0.2. Just give me a little more flexibility. Shrink down that cursor. I got this on the wrong setting. Max it up. And let's just get this filled in. We could even let's just make that maxed out so we don't waste all the time in the world on this. I'm gonna make This is where you could definitely go a little greener, close to the shoulders, just so there's kind of a blend. And let's get that to 0. Turn this all the way up. I want to clean off the arms again. If you have two bones overlap with green, then they kind of blend together a little bit, which is good. Spine, I don't want the front here as part of the spine. I mean, it might still work, but I already marked it as chest, so. The spine, while I'm here, let's fill up the spine. Shoulder, shoulder left, shoulder right. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a little funky. This is where you're going to have to just go back and forth, test things out, improve things as you go. Let's see what this looks like right now. I suspect the shirt is going to be a little funky. Go to object mode. I'm going to unhide the head. Select all, and I'm going to export my VRM. This file is pretty big, it's not an optimized file, so when I export the VRM, right now it's saving. You need to wait for this to finish saving before you test it out. If you don't do that, you're going to be testing out your old file. So if you click on your webcam receiver, this is what it looked like before, right? Now it just popped back into Blender because the file just finished saving. So now I know the file is saved. I can load the VRM. Let's look. This is what it looked like before, with the belt all screwy and the eyes going all wonky. And this is what it looks like now. Now the belt is much better. There's a couple things looks like still caught up that need fixing. The shirt is improved. There's still something in the balaclava that has weighting on it. That needs to be adjusted. The shirt looks much better, but still needs work. You can see the shoulders. The shoulders need work. They need to be, the chest needs to match the shirt and the way it looks. The hands are looking very good. The hands are looking pretty good. You can bend the fingers, and the head is a mess. But that is, let me see, I'm gonna load my finished version and see how that looks. So this one is what's the weighting all correct. After lots of experimentation, this is the weighting all correct. Now I just want to show you, so basically go back and forth until you get all the weight painting lined up properly, and that'll work out. Over time. That takes time. Now I'm going to show you how to add the shape keys. This part is definitely more fun than the weight painting. So this is kind of the home stretch. I'm going to hit N, and I'm going to click on VRM with the plugin added, the VRM plugin. Can't remember if I showed how to do that. Basically, you would click on Edit and Preferences. And the file that you downloaded from the VR plugin file, install file, you would click on install and install it into the program and make sure it's turned on. And when everything selected properly, you have this new section here, VRM. We're going to click on VRM humanoid. And what's interesting, it doesn't always do this. It seems to have filled out the obvious bones for me, which is great, because if it's not filled in, then you need to fill in each part properly, one at a time, and you just click and it'll automatically load up the bone and you just plop it right in there. What we want to mess with right now is the blend shape proxy, and this is fun. This is where you get to kind of create your expressions. Neutral is neutral. Nothing happens here, right? This is what the face should look like, neutral. A. We have A, E, I, O, U. Those are the vowels. As you talk your mouth, you can set your mouth to move in different directions. Because we're wearing a balaclava, we don't have to be super specific with it, but I do try to set this up according to mouth shape. For our purposes, I'm going to just do this part quickly and maybe use the same shape for everything. So I'm going to select the balaclava here, which will have its own set of shape keys. So I hit in binds, I hit plus, I chose balaclava. Then in the mesh, I choose balaclava, and then the shape key, you get what's offered here. And so we have jaw forward, jaw left, right, open, mouth right, left, mouth smile. These are all different movements that were given to us with the AR filter. And so I'm going to do jaw forward, and that is now set. And you can test this out by dragging on preview. Just click and drag, and you see that jaw forward now moves. So when webcam motion capture or whatever device you're using, whichever program you're using, recognizes the facial feature doing an A sound, it'll do that. And so with I, we can do the same thing. We have to, each one at a time, we have to add something. We could do jaw open. What I noticed sometimes, there can be clipping of things, so you have to be careful which ones you select and test and see what works and what doesn't work. But you can get creative here and make it the way you want it. So jaw forward is a little bit different from jaw open. I noticed that jaw forward reduces a lot of the clipping, but I'm going to just add these as we go. Let's call balaclava, jaw forward, and just to make things simple, I'm just going to make those all jaw or jaw forward. So now A, E, I, O, U are all set with motion. Blink. I'm going to go, this one you have to do each part of the eye. So we have eyelashes, we're going to do blink left. We have to add each one to this. Blink right. Eyelid left, blink left. What's cool is it automatically loads the shape keys that you're looking for. Eyelid right, blink right. And blink and wide are two different things. Eyelid right, pupil left, pupil right. You can make your pupil change in size. They have it called blink, so it's supposed to be there. But again, you can get creative and make this look however you want. You know, you don't have to abide by the given rules of the AR file. But so now I have all these binds in here, and when I preview it, I see the character blinks appropriately. If I remove pupil left, so you see only one pupil is changing size. Let me get that pupil back in there. So that's good for blink right there. That's good for blink. That's what we want. Then we have all these expressions: joy, angry, sorrow, fun. Look up, look down, look left, look right. Blink left, blink right. Okay, so now blink left and blink right are individual eye movements, where the double blink is both at the same time. So you can add just the left eye here, just the right eye here. This is for your pupils. Let's look left, let's see what happens. Look, so here we have to figure out what's left and what's right? So I'm gonna say, let's just see what this does. So that is the left eye looking in left. This is where it gets confusing because it's looking left on my screen, but it's right, and that's its left eye. So you just kind of have to sort of play with these. Now if I wanted to look right, then I want people right in here also. And that's going to be probably look out right. Let's see. Yeah, nailed it on my first try. Look at me go. You can also add movements to the eyebrow with the balaclava, right? Let's try brow upper right. Let's see what that does. Yeah, perfect. I'm on a roll here, guessing correctly. See, the eyebrow moves up. And maybe the brow left I squint can look cool. There, you see the side of the cheek changes, but here's what I'm talking about, clipping. That part of the neck is now visible because this clipped. So either you adjust the weight painting so it's attached to that part of the head, or you don't use that. Let's try, instead of eye squint left, let's try mouth stretch right. I want to see what that does. Oh, so that's the wrong part of the mouth. I want to do mouth stretch left then. Let's see. Mouth stretch left. There. So now we don't have any clipping. There's movement on both sides of the face as the eyes look left. The thing is, this is not necessarily going to react with your eyes. This could be your head turning left. I'm going to add two more here. These are expressions that you can control with buttons in Webcam Studio. So it's like if you make an angry face, the face is not going to look angry. You have to press a button to make it look angry. But fun, I think fun works according to your facial expression. And maybe sorrow, I can't remember which, but you're going to want to play around here. But so fun, let's make him smile, right? We're going to do skull balaclava, make her smile. I'll smile left, skull balaclava. I know mouse smile right is like way out somewhere else. Mouse smile right, it's way on the bottom. If I preview that, the cheeks go up, right? I can see there's some clipping there happening. Oops. That I don't necessarily want, right? So one way to avoid that is let's lower the jaw, right? Skull balaclava, jaw open. See if that works. There, so the jaw opens. Now we got rid of the clipping, and it looks like a smile. But it's, as Tyra Banks would say, you smile with the eyes, kids. So let's add some eyes. Let's do eyelid left, and we're gonna do wide left. Let's see what that looks like. So the eyelid goes up a little bit when we smile. Maybe we don't want the eyelids to move. Maybe we do. Let's just keep at it, right? Eyelid right. Let's do eye wide right. Let's add the eyelash. We saw the eyelash didn't move, right? So we have to add those in there. Wide left. Boom. Eyelash right. No, eyelash right. And wide right. Let's test that out. So the eyelids now and eyelashes open up. Maybe when this character smiles, the pupils go small, right? So let's do pupil left. Let's do eye wide left. Let's keep that wide thing going. Pupil right. Eye wide right, and now the pupil should get smaller. And maybe the eyebrows should move, right? So let's select the empty one, go to skull balaclava. And this would be brow, outer, upper left. Let's try skull balaclava, brow, outer, upper right. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. So it's kind of an excited look, but you can play around with these and make that work. I'm going to do an angry one, last one. Obviously you can spend all the time you want here to create all the expressions you want. Let's do nicely. And then we can make like the mouth frown. See what that looks like. There we go. So the mouth moves a little bit. The brow moves down. We can change the eyes. We can do all sorts of things to make them look angrier. But that is set and ready to go. And at this point, let me, now this is the beast that doesn't have everything set right weight painting wise, but let's take a look at how this one looks as far as facial expressions go. Again, let it load, let it finish saving. Saved, go into the receiver, load the VRM, desktop. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Hold on, testing 1 2 3. You see my mouth is moving. If I take my glasses off, I should blink. I might not have enough light on myself, but the blinking works when I blink hard. Mouth moves when I smile. Eyes grow smaller, eyelids open. Now, I believe facial expression settings here. You can choose keys. So here's what we had, right? So I'm going to change this to L. I'm going to change this to whatever, K, just to see if it works. L looks left. That's the setting that we added. Looks left. K looks angry. And you can continue talking. And all that stuff is working. L, K, L, K, L, K. So the moods of my character are in there. See, I gotta fix the weight painting on the ears, fix the weight painting on that. Hands works pretty well. The shirt still needs work. The belt looks pretty good. Looks like we got everything pretty much solved on the belt. But yeah, let me put it back to my finished one. There you have it. That's how you make an avatar. Take the time to do the weight painting right, get all those expressions set up nicely, and you have yourself a beast that you can now stream with. Hope that helps you out. Hope some of you get super famous off that. Can't wait to see it all. Thank you very much for paying attention to my tutorial. Have a great day.